This is David Leva Hart broadcast.
I had a couple ideas. See what you think about these for little segments that could be on the show. Maybe I thought the fans might appreciate hearing a segment where you talk about where you tell a story from your childhood.
Oh, that's a great idea.
Cool. Well, what if you sing a little theme song for stories from my childhood, and then you can tell a story or two.
That's a great idea. I used to love being a cowboy, and I used to love cowboy movies, and I used to have a pony when I was growing up, and I used to believe that I was up the Black Long Ranger, stopping crimes.
That's great. Let's start with a short little song. It could just be like 5 seconds to say,
okay,
stories from my childhood or something like that.
Okay, ready? I'll
do
it. Okay, ready? And then
it's recording.
Stories from my childhood. I would like to be a Black Long Ranger, stopping crime and things that are danger. When I was a kid, I had a little pony. I rose up and down to stop crime. I want to be a Black Long Ranger to stop harm and danger. I want to be a hero and not a villain to bring joy on the radio to you and me. That's the original song. When I was a kid, I loved Westerns. I love Bonanza. I love the Long Ranger. Wow, these are from oldies but goodies. These are back in the 50s and 60s when I was a little sprout. I loved Westerns. And I loved John Wayne until I found out he was a racist against minorities. And I loved John Wayne. He was from Glendale, California. And he was my hero until I found out he didn't like colored people. But before that, I loved his movies, and I loved his TV shows. He was a super wonderful talent. Until I found that out, I was a super fan of John Wayne. I love Westerns. Just like I like country Western music, I love Westerns. I used to love watching Westerns more than watching cartoons, baby boy. I love Westerns. And I love, they had so many. I love Bonanza. I love Daniel Boone, the old series. In fact, I have all 6 episodes of Daniel Boone. I love those old. And then I love The Big Valley. My favorite actress played on The Big Valley. She also was on Dynasty. The beautiful blonde Linda Evans. I love blondes. I found out I have Norwegian and German mixed in me, and Irish. And I found out my great-great-grandmother was a blue-eyed blonde, was Caucasian, and so was my deceased cousin, Linda McKinnon. And I just love Linda Evans. And then I know she's shriveled up like a raisin, but when in her young years, she was a beautiful white rose. I love Cloris Reachman. Cloris Reachman played on Bonanza, 1 episode with 3 girls, and I just had a crush on Cloris Reachman. She reminded me of my Sunday school teacher, Miss Waller. I had a Sunday school teacher that looked just like Cloris Reachman. And her name was Miss Waller. And she didn't like my singing or my talent. She didn't feel I had any singing. She was really brutally mean to me. But she reminded me of my favorite actress, Cloris Reachman. And she was a sweetheart. Anyway, I love Cloris Reachman. Cloris Reachman had a spinoff from the Mary Tyler Moore Show called Phyllis. And she had a granny on there, and I just loved this. It was an old granny on Phyllis show. Her name was my old grandma Poindexter. She was a funny old bag, and she made the show Phyllis. And when she died, I only did like 6 episodes of Phyllis. She died after the 4th season off of Phyllis, and I liked her a lot. She was my favorite actress. I love that old granny. So Cloris Reachman is still living in Studio City, and if you hear this broadcast, Cloris Reachman, I love you and I send my love. I'm so sorry one of my favorite actresses died that I had a crush on ever since I was a kid. I never got to meet her in person, but I loved Mary Tyler Moore. When I used to watch the Dick Van Dyke Show growing up as a young sprout, I had the hots for Mary Tyler Moore. She was such a beautiful white rose. I mean, she was a classy woman. She also played in Roots with Ed Asner. I wish I auditioned for Roots, but Reuben Cannon didn't cast me in it. But I got to read for Roots as an actor, which was an honor just to even read for Roots. But I didn't like it that Roots didn't talk about how the Germans helped free the blacks through the Underground Railroad, through the Quaker Friends Church and the Lutheran Church, and that's a part of my family roots, because my Caucasian side freed my African American side through the Underground Railroad from the South up to Canada, and worked with Harriet Tubman and Frederick Douglass, but I just wanted to share some. They came out with a book called Thorn. Also, the Lutheran Church did a lot, and the Presbyterian Church did a lot of Underground Railroad work through the Missouri Synod Lutheran Church. The older Lutheran Church came out with a book from Concord Publishing Company called Thorns and Crowns. That talked about the Underground Railroad and how the Germans helped free the blacks through the Underground Railroad. They faced persecution from the English, the jolly old English that are persecuting me at the Santa Monica Pier and Third Street Promenade, not buying any artwork or contributing to my music. But we just have to love the hell out of people that don't like us, and bless them and release them and wish them the best. I'm still a Christian. I'm still a Christian Scientist. But I'm disappointed in the phony Tonys in churches that I have to forgive and love a lot. Okay.
How about another true story from your childhood?
Okay. Okay, it's going to be Bigfoot. I met Bigfoot. I met Bigfoot when I fished with my dad. I met Bigfoot in Michigan. My dad and I were fishing in a boat. He thought he caught a large throat. Instead it was Bigfoot. It was him. Instead it was Bigfoot. He grabbed my dad's fishing rod and tipped the boat. And he scared the hell out of me. And my dad, can't you see? I met Bigfoot when I used to be a child. I met Bigfoot. And when we were fishing at the Douglas River in Michigan, I met Bigfoot. He looked like a werewolf. I met Bigfoot. It's a true story. I used to go fishing a lot with my dad in the 50s and 60s when I was a young sprout. And my dad was fishing at the Douglas Lake. We used to go get connected up with Lake Michigan and Lake Erie and Lake Superior. And my dad was fishing. He said, "This is a huge, huge fish." So he asked me to help me pull it out. And what came out was this huge thing that looked like a large werewolf. And it grabbed and pulled the boat over, knocked the boat over and my dad over. And my dad swam and caught me and tipped the boat right side up. And luckily the canoes were connected with the boat, so we were able to canoe to shore. But my dad had to buy all new fishing bait, new fishing rods, because everything went in the lake. And this happened to me when I was a young sprout. And it happened once in the 60s, again in the 70s. So it was a scary, wary thing to meet Bigfoot face to face. So those are my stories.
Great ones. How about another segment where you make up stories that aren't true?
Okay. Jonah wants me to be a liar. He doesn't want me to lie. And now he wants me to lie. Okay. I'll make up a story. I'm going to fib. I'm going to lie, which Jonah doesn't like me to do. I'm going to make up a story. That never is true, but I'll make a story that I dated Diana Ross. And we sang together and recorded records together. I know this has never happened. And then I dreamed that I met her when she was a young girl, and I started dating her. She's from Michigan, which never happened. But I dreamed that Diana Ross and I made love together, which will never happen. I never met Diana Ross in my life. But she was a beautiful black rose. I usually don't go for black women because they treat me so bad. They were like eating okra. I had black girls do me shitty. They kicked me through the curb. I'll tell you what happened. There was a jolly old English guy that, with his wife and his kids, they were taking pictures in front of my booth so people couldn't see me selling my artwork. And I said to them, I pay for this booth. Could you step on the side? I'm jolly old English. I'm like the Ku Klux Klan or the colored people. I'm going to stand right here, whether you like it or not, you ninny. And then two black women came up. I don't even respect no motherfucking
N-word.
I'm going to stay. Give me the camera. I'll take a picture of you all standing right in front of David's face selling his artwork. I don't respect no black men. I don't respect my brother. I don't respect my daddy. And those two black women stood in front and took pictures of the English people in front of me selling my artwork. And then, after they took the pictures, then the black woman says, motherfucker, you need to learn to be nice to English people and black women. We don't give a
hoot
about you selling your motherfucking artwork. You need to be nice to us. I said, no, you all need to be nice. Because I pay for a permit, and that's really rude and arrogant to stand in front of me and take a picture of me when I'm selling artwork. That's like a person, when a company has opened up the business and stand in front of the door so they can't let the people in to buy anything or go into it. It's rude. It's just, as my grandmother Schroeder would say, it's ill-mannered and rude. That's a saying from the South. I'm all kind of disappointed in Phil Shy. He did promise me he was going to let me tour with Froggy Fresh. He's from the South. And he didn't keep his promise. He lied. He said he was going to book me to tour all over the United States. And he didn't do it. So I have to forgive him about that. He's in town with Froggy Fresh this week, doing shows in Los Angeles. Even though he does Phil Shy, you don't return my phone calls. You haven't returned my phone calls in 8 months. I still love you and forgive you. And you know what? I'm going to be a bigger person, Phil Shy. I'm going to thank you for booking me 1 year with Shown Emotion last year. I'm going to thank you for booking me with Adam Papagan for 6 years. And I want to thank you for doing the graphic artwork for my t-shirts. So I just, want to mix in the positive with the negative. You're a great guy and a great manager, and even though you forgot to book me this year, I still like you and still respect you.
Great. What about I was thinking, what would you think about doing a music review segment?
I need to get to the music center. To the Hollywood, to Harpers to make some money. It's going on 1 o'clock. Do one more thing. Did you do my other tablet too?
Oh.
Just one more last one. Did you put in the emails too?
The emails were already hooked up to it.
Would you see? Could you put up this music in all of them?
I'm trying. I can't put it in all of them.
Which ones did you put it in? Did you get in my
The thing is, this computer needs to download new software before it will let me
can you
connect
add
your phone to it.
It's gonna
take like 7 hours for it to finish downloading. So
can you do upgrade it and add the stuff in?
I'm working on it, but What's up, everybody? This is Jonah. I just wanted to mention that David has a bunch of different places that you can go to on the internet. If you like SoundCloud, you could go to soundcloud.com/artbyliebehart. If you like Twitter, you can go to twitter.com/David David Liebehart. If you like Instagram, Adventures with David. If you like Facebook, it's facebook.com/David Liebehart2, or just David Liebehart is another one. Oh, and youtube.com/Art by Liebehart, and artbyliebehart.com is where you can find all of that stuff and all of our merchandise and tour dates. We got August, September, October tours coming up. And we're also currently auctioning off a painting of David's of a 7-legged horse in space, which is on eBay at, I don't know, if you just search for David Liebehart's 7-legged horse, you'll find it. But that ends in 3 days from now. Bye-bye.